Chaos Walking stars Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley and is about this planet the men have their inner thoughts being said and seen out loud in front of them. I think this movie had some really interesting concepts. This movie to me had all the potential to be something really, really interesting. It has really interesting concepts, it has interesting characters, and it also has a good director, it has great cast, and it has so many intriguing concepts, especially sci-fi concepts that are really, really interesting ideas that could be brought to life really, really well. And sometimes these things are really, really developed upon. This thing called the noise, where it's something where you as the audience can see and hear everyone's inner thoughts, and everyone around them can hear and see these things as well. Some people can use it and manipulate it in interesting ways, and to me that was easily the most unique aspect of this film, and it really added this unique flavour to all the action and all the suspense of the film. And they used some really creative ideas in terms of this, and I really liked it a lot. I liked this style, and I really liked the use of this. I really liked the concepts and the ideas that are forged because of this. I liked how it impacts parts of the story and the characters' motivations towards one another. And in terms of these two characters, Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley are great young actresses taking, I guess, the young faces of the Marvel franchise and the Star Wars franchise and putting them together in one movie, and in a new sci-fi film. Was an interesting play, and I liked seeing their characters together. They have a lot of chemistry on screen. I liked seeing their adventure take place, and I like both of these characters quite a bit. There was a lacking of development there, but I did enjoy both these characters, and I did care about them on their journey. In terms of all the extra characters around them, you have Mads Mikkelsen as a villain. He's a magnificent actor, but he doesn't really do much in the movie, but his villain was okay. He did what he needed to do. He had his purpose, and the movie did have a lot of I guess intense moments and situations that I really, really enjoyed, and mainly because of this noise. It creates more of a suspenseful aspect to the film because everyone can hear and see what people are thinking. It just creates a more suspenseful aspect, and also creates some themes, I guess, that were also interesting to think about. And in terms of all the world building and character building and story aspects, I really loved, and I thought were really interesting ideas, and I think are really underrated because I've seen this film have a lot of really terrible reviews. People have said it's pretty terrible, and it's been wanting to release for a long, long time. The initial cuts of the film were so bad they couldn't release them, and they had to do reshoots, and it's now only coming out in 2021. So it took a long time to release, but I really don't think it's that bad. I think it's completely fine. But my biggest issue with this movie comes with a lot of the setup and a lot of the pacing of that setup. As soon as it gets on the adventure, I found it quite entertaining, even though a lot of the scenes don't really continue on. They don't really cut between these sequences in a natural way, and you cannot really get immersed into the film because of it. It will cut halfway through a sequence and cut to the next sequence, and it's sort of a bit confusing as to where you are in the story and how this adventure is playing out. And a lot of that is due to the editing, what maybe was shot, but I can tell there was a really, really good story here and good, interesting things. It's just cut together in a way that makes it feel more choppy than I think it should, and it makes the adventure not as immersive and not as exciting as it could be either. And I think a lot of what this movie does well is in terms of its ideas and its concepts and the things it's unique. But at the end of the day, it is kind of a generic sci-fi adventure film, and it wouldn't be as generic if it didn't have these ideas in them. The setup was really, really bland to me. It happened very, very quickly. It was very, very rushed. You didn't really get to know what was going on. It's only until halfway through the film where you really start to get involved into the adventure film. That it sort of becomes a bit more investing, and you learn stuff about the characters. It tries to hit emotional moments at some points, and some of them land, some of them don't. I really didn't have a problem with the majority of this film. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it kind of got better as it went along. There was some good twists along the way. There was a good uses of its narrative. There was some really creative uses of its ideas. But to me, it was just a rush film. It just felt like scenes slapped together, sort of telling a story that's much more interesting than the movie is making it out to be. And that's sort of a shame to me because the movie feels like it should be something really great. You have a great cast, a really good director. He's made some great sci-fi films in the past. It sort of just lacked that potential to me in terms of being something great. And I think it is mainly due to this pacing. It's not an overly long film, and I think some length in the first act could have really, really developed this movie and made it a lot better. It felt very, very messy in terms of how it was slapped together, but at the same point of time, I still enjoyed it. I was invested in the characters, the story I really, really liked and enjoyed a lot of its concepts, and to me, it's nowhere near as bad as other people are saying it is. I think it's a completely fine film. It's decently entertaining. The main reason why I enjoyed this movie as much as I did is because I did like seeing these two characters on screen. I enjoyed these two characters on their adventure, and I cared about what was happening to them. Was there much development there? Was there much exploration there? Maybe not as much as there could have been. But because I liked the characters, I liked the story around them. I was sort of more forgiving of this movie being not really executing its story and characters very well, even though I liked what it was trying to execute. So I thought it was fine. I don't think it's that bad at all. I just think it's a pretty decent sci-fi film with some really interesting ideas that I would have really liked to see expanded upon. I'm going to give Chaos Walking a C+. plus. I'm also going to give this movie a 63%. Let me know what you thought of Chaos Walking down below. I think it's a very intriguing movie, but it's not all that investing, unfortunately. But it's still a decent watch. Let me know what you thought of Chaos Walking in the comments down below. And of course, thanks for watching.